Hello there, Alan here. I haven't done a TBR in a while. So I'm going to go through the books I'm reading. I'm doing like a full list, like Roz. And I want you to check out my shirt. I got this in Venice when I was visiting my buddy, Dante Scholar, Tommaso, Tom at LA Books. I'll talk more about him below when I get to the books. First book I'm going to hold up, I'm reading a lot of books. I'm doing like a Roz playlist. Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. Now, I've read one other work of hers that was Flights, and that my Celia in Norway turned me on to this book. And then after reading that, I researched the author a little, and a lot of people like this book even over Flights. So Sina and I had beating around the books. She in Germany. We're going to buddy read this, and I'm ready. So this might be the first one. I'm already reading a couple books here. I got this from the library finally. It's a great book so far. I'm about halfway through it, and I want to thank and shout out my buddy, my friend, my part, and Faulkner and August for turning me on to this book. You never forget your first, about George Washington. The twist on this, and the good thing about it, the original thing about it, it's a female writer. And she, Alexis Coe, smashes some myths of old General George, Shout out, they'll never hear this. I have my relatives, people down in Daytona Beach, and they're Mahans. They're all named George Washington Mahan, the third, the fourth. They're dying off now. But anyway, thanks, Brian, for this book. Now, this is a recommend from Goodreads, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Now, I think her name is Victoria. Yeah, Victoria V.E. Schwab. I think she lives in like Scotland, right? Edinburgh, yeah, Scotland. But I'm a few chapters into this, loving it, it's fantasy. Got this book to read because it's new, and I like the poet Neruda. I haven't really started this yet, but we'll see. That's on hold. This might be a surprise to some people. Back to the Prairie, Melissa Gilbert, nonfiction. Always liked her. She's married to Timothy Busfield, the guy from remember 30 something and other. He's a good actor. But they ended up getting a rural house during the pandemic, and that, I guess. Miss Emily by Nuala O'Connor, Irish woman. Now, I just read her Nora. It's over here with my Joyce, and I reviewed this or last week probably. So I picked up this too on Emily Dickinson. It's biographical fiction, which means she takes a little liberties, but if I can go by this book. She covered a lot of things about Joyce and about Nora that I especially didn't know. You know what I mean? So Miss Emily. Now let's get back to Tommaso. Tom turned me on to Gene Wolfe. Now I read the first two of the Book of the New Sun. And this is 3 and 4, Sword and Citadel. But Tom has sent me and given me Gene Wolfe books. He gave me the novel Peace, which is like a different. That should be reread. And then he gave me the short stories and other stories and other stories. That's the title of it. Mention Roz again, and I'll mention Una at the same time. We've had a Lespector group going for a couple years, and Fraser Simons is joining us. He joined us with what did we read? The chandelier was me and Roz. What did we read? My mind. This is we talk about in order to read Gene Wolfe is to reread Gene Wolfe. Well, she begs to be read as well. Clarice Lespector. Now I used to say Clarice like y'all did, but I think it's Clarice. That's how Una says it. He even looked it up. So we're gonna reread this and introduce it to Fraser, The Passion According to GH. Mine's marked up a bit. We read this 2 years ago. But not only that, I'm so excited. I realized I hadn't put reviews for The Hour of the Star, which is a thin volume. This is a lot bigger, or Near to the Wild Heart, which is a line from Mr. James Don't Call Me Jim Joyce. So I'm going to be rereading these two. I know, all this next month. Now, the answer to your question you've been waiting for. Did I DNF an Anne Rice book? I did. It started out really good. This is the 13th of the Chronicle, so how many preternaturals can you take? I met Anne Rice. I was lucky to meet Anne Rice in Phoenix, Arizona at a bookstore, lying around the block for hours. But it was on her Lasher tour, that book. So if you bought that book, she'd sign it, inscribe it, that we call it if they write your name. And then she autographed a bunch of my other books that I brought. And she was really cool. And I've been to New Orleans to Nola a couple times. I looked for her house, couldn't find it. But back in the day, it was said her phone number was in the phone book and all the O'Briens down there, all her family. But sorry, Anne. Can't believe I DNF'd it. I'm going to try to read this book. I'll put it up here. That Jeremy Fee, I saw on his channel. But yep, not all my reviews are, 3, 4 stars, 5 stars, nothing. All right. I'll probably finish up the George Washington book. Yeah, this is a big hard book here. How many pages? Anybody else ever read this? The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue? 444 pages. All right, I think that's about it. So, hey, sorry to butt in, but just like me, huh? How could I forget the most wonderful time of the year? It's Faulkner in August, so which has been going on since June. Then we had the town in July. Now the mansion, the peak, the climax. I think I'm going to like this one the best. It's violent. Mink Snopes returns from prison because Flem didn't do anything to get him out, even try to get him out. But how could I forget, man? We're having a good time in Voxer. I think only one person's left this season. Finally got bored. The winner of the Hamlet never made a peep after she won the book. I don't understand why people enter like giveaway contests and then she'll never pick up that book again. Anyhow, I'm gonna delete that part. Busy reading. Ciao.